Hey everybody, so I wanted to do this earlier in the week on my YouTube channel, but I didn't get around to it, i.e. I didn't feel up to it. You boys tired. However, I've been wanting to talk all week about this week's college football playoff rankings, and I now have the opportunity to get to it. So I just want to go give some thoughts real quick on what we have right now in our top 12, and I will go ahead and run these down. And this is in the order 12 through 1, not necessarily playoff seedings if the season stopped right now. So Georgia's in at 12. You have Ole Miss in at 11. The SEC is a mess right now. It's a beautiful mess, but it's a mess. Number 10, Alabama. 9, Miami. Number 8, Notre Dame, which people always throw a fit about Notre Dame, but the fact is they have one loss and they deserve to be there right now. Tennessee at 7. Big 12 leader BYU at number 6. The darlings of college football, the Fighting Frank Signetti's, Indiana at number 5, Penn State number 4, which people have thrown a huge fit about. Texas 3, Ohio State 2, and Oregon number 1. The top 2 have not changed. However, if you know anything about the college football playoff and the seeding format, these are not the 12 teams that will be in the college football playoff. Georgia would be left out if the season ended right now as the highest ranked group of 5 team, which right now would be 13th in Boise State, and they have Heisman Trophy candidate running back Ashton Jeanty. They'd be in. Georgia would have to be out. It's just the way it is. Throw a fit all you want to, cry to your mama. But these are the top 4 seeds in the college football playoff as it stands right now. The highest 4 ranked conference champions from the Power 4, and that would be number 1, Oregon, as if the season ended right now, they're undefeated, obviously, which means they'd be the Big 12 representative. Number 2 would be Texas, as they're ranked 3rd, and they're the current SEC leader. Your Big 12 leader would be number 6, BYU, so in playoff seedings, they'd be 3rd. And your 4th seed would be number 9, Miami. I know it sounds screwy, guys, but this is just the way it goes. And then everybody will be seated accordingly 5 through 12. And that would include Notre Dame, who gets in as an independent, and Boise State, who would be sitting at 13, but they would be seated 12th in the playoff, which means they would play the highest seeded non-conference champion, which would be number 2, Ohio State. These are the matchups that we would have right now. You'd have Boise State going to Ohio State. Your 6th seed would be Penn State hosting 11th seed Ole Miss. How about that? You don't see too many SEC schools go up north, especially in December, to play a game. Your, 7 seed would be Tennessee, or it would actually be Indiana hosting Alabama. Think about that. Who had that on their bingo card at the start of the year? Indiana and Alabama, let alone Indiana doing what they're doing. But again, shout out to Frank Signetti, all the guys in Bloomington. They've had a phenomenal season. To me, they're what college football is all about. That's just me. And then your 8-9 matchup would be Tennessee hosting Notre Dame. Tennessee ain't won a national title since 98. Notre Dame ain't won one since 88. I think this is exactly what the FBS, not the other divisions, because I believe they do it right with a full 16-team playoff, which I believe at the FBS, we're eventually going to get there, because if, let's say, a Georgia gets left out, they're going to throw a fit. If SMU wins out and they get to the ACC championship game, and let's say they lose, maybe they still have a case, and they get left out. So I think we're eventually going to get to 16 teams. There's just going to be too many schools crying wolf, crying foul, yada yada. Like, you didn't do what you needed to do when you needed to do it. I think this is exactly what college football needs, and I'm rooting for more anarchy, because when you look at the group of 5s that still have a shot at the college football playoff, technically that falls under Washington State, who is currently 18th at 8-1. They're a group of 5 by unfortunate circumstance, because the Pac-12 got dissolved in the form that we all knew it as, and it's being reborn currently for its future with the Mountain West Conference. Then you have 24th ranked Army. Yeah, they're 24, but Army is 9-0. and I think they're the only team this year that has not trailed in a game at all. Bryson Daly is a sneaky Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback for Army. So we need all of that chaos in order to shake up the status quo, because the status quo is like missionary position. It's boring. Same stuff every night. Like, come on. Put some seasoning, put some flexibility in your college football rankings and in the CFP, because this is exactly what we need. More than just your Indiana, but we need a lot of programs to, shake things up, because variety is the spice of life. And to me, FBS college football should feel like March Madness, and make this way every game counts more and more. Obviously, you're only playing 12 in the regular season for an opportunity to become one of the top 12. But when you have programs like in Indiana, who I believe is the losingest FBS Power 5 or Power 4 football program in history, lowest winning percentage, most games under 500, for them to be doing what they're doing with a coach that literally just said, "Google me, I win," like that's alpha dog right there. So you need that. You need the SMUs. SMU is in the Atlantic Coast Conference. They're in Dallas, Atlantic Coast. But this is the landscape we have. And they're currently one game back of Miami. Actually, they're officially now tied. No, actually, right now they technically lead the ACC, because they have not lost in conference. Now Miami has the one conference loss. They should have 3, maybe 4. But the fact is, their only loss is to BYU, who is currently number 6 and will be a top 4 seed if everything stopped now. Think about that. So this is beautiful for the SMUs. Other teams you can't count out either for possibly getting a top 4. Colorado. Pay attention to Coach Prime. The Buffaloes are 7-2, one game back of BYU in conference play, and they've now jumped ahead, I believe, by overall percentage points against over Iowa State. Pay attention to Coach Prime and Shadur and Travis Hunter and all those boys, and off on their offensive line is steadily improving, which has helped Shadur a lot. And defensively, Colorado's very underrated, so keep an eye out for them. They're not out of it either. Then you have the mess of the SEC with Texas leading right now, but they have a conference loss. Then you have Tennessee's not out of it. Alabama's not out of it. Ole Miss isn't out of it. Georgia's not out of it. A&M's not out of it. And if you ask Eli Drinkwitz, Mizzou ain't out of it. Even though we're currently 23, we have the 2 conference losses, but technically we're not out of it. Big game against South Carolina Saturday. Sorry to my sister Ashley, but we got to give y'all the beats. So it is what it is. Ain't personal, just business. Other schools in the ACC you can't count out. Clemson, they're still in it. They still got a shot. If things fall in place, let's say with Army losing out, and let's say Boise State loses one more game, then another team in the group of 5 that still could slide into that G5 spot is Tulane. They'll need some help in the form of Army losing to Navy, or even twice, because they will have Navy left. They don't play each other. Army and Tulane do not, but they could only meet in the American Conference Championship game. There's a lot that could happen between now and the end of the regular season. A lot, y'all. So I just wanted to go ahead and do this video real quick. If you like it, go ahead and hit the like button here. Drop comments. We'll appreciate all your support. I will have this up on YouTube here shortly as well. So again, we'll see you in the next one. MIZZOU. And we got to give South Carolina the beats this weekend. So I'm sorry to my sister. That's her grad school, South Carolina. But old Gold and Black is the better Columbia. We'll see you in the next one. Appreciate it, guys.